It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Susan Padron. She is an intuitive personal stylist. She works with women and men to help them confidently express all of who they are through their style, to feel good both on the inside and out. Her services include personal shopping sessions, closet edits, virtual styling, and photo shoot styling. I actually looked on your reviews, Susan, on Google, which are, you have like 5 stars across the board, which I would of course assume. But I took a little snippet. Someone said, Susan is a genius when it comes to ensuring your personal style and personal preferences meet in a perfect balance. And I loved that. Tammy and I both have had the pleasure of working a bit with Susan to film our Rise TV episodes. And I feel like your softness, Susan, supported us in feeling comfortable, but also your brilliance encourages people to be bold. I'm really looking forward to being here with you and just feeling and being with all that you have to say and share today. So welcome, Susan.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here today with you lovely ladies. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to do anything connected with Rise because you both just exude that same kind of warmth and love that I love to be around, and everyone who knows you obviously feels the same way. So as Rachel was so kind to say about me, I am a personal stylist. I'm an intuitive personal stylist, which basically just means that I'm able to help you and support you through your journey while tapping into your energy and intuition so that you can really show up the way that you want to be seen, which is the whole main purpose of my workshop today. So this is something that I feel very strongly about because I think that so many individuals are going through life and they're afraid of showing up as themselves because they're afraid of being judged, whether it's feeling the judgment just from themselves or from other people. If I wear that, then people are going to think this about me, and all of these really challenging, limiting beliefs that many of us have struggled with at one point or another. And I want to help you by giving you some tools that you can really utilize today to just start by making either big changes or little changes in how you show up. So the first thing that I really want to do is just allow us to center in. So we're going to do just a basic little quick breath exercise where I want you to find a comfortable seat, and you can go ahead and close your eyes. And you can place your hand over your heart, one over your belly. And I want us to all take a deep breath in through the nose and hold it at the top. And release it out the mouth. Go ahead, take another deep breath in through the nose, allowing the air to go through your whole body, releasing it when you feel called. And while you're taking the next few breaths at your own speed, I want you to think about what brought you to this workshop today. Why did you feel called to be part of this? And ask yourself, is there some element of my life where I am not showing up fully? And listen to that voice, to that answer. What is it saying? How do you feel? And throughout our time together today, I want you to think about how you can release that. Take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And allow that breath to be that first element of that release. And then when you feel called, go ahead and gently open your eyes. Come back to the space. And while you're still connected inward, what I would love for us to do, while we have all of this beautiful energy going through our bodies now, is I want you to think about and take a moment to share if you feel comfortable, whether unmuting yourself, or you can go ahead and type it into the chat if you're watching this live. I want you to ask yourself, and I know that Tammy definitely has some experience with this from our Rise TV episode that we aired together, but I want you to ask yourself, who am I? And this moment, I don't want you to focus on any roles in your life. I want you to focus on who am I? Who is my personality? Who is my being? Who am I at my core? And if you have a pen and paper handy, write it down. Because what's beautiful about this exercise is that it changes. And for so many of us over the last 6 months or so, we've all changed and gone through some major, major transformations. So who you are now isn't going to be the same person that you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years. And there are no wrong answers. It's just whatever words that come to mind. You're listening to that inner voice, that inner knowing. And whatever is speaking to you, just let that flow from pen to paper. And the reason that I suggested to really connect with your personality as opposed to the roles that you fill in your life is, I know, speaking from the perspective of a mom, which I am, it can be very easy to kind of disassociate with who I am on the inside and focus on, okay, well, I do this, I do that. But that's not who you are. It can be part of who you are. It can support who you are. And of course, your lifestyle, how you live your day to day, all of that is definitely relevant. But you need to know who you are at your core at this moment in order to be able to show up as yourself. So what I would love to do now is I gave all of you a little bit of quick homework to bring to this workshop today. And that was to bring your favorite piece or bring your least favorite or something that really feels like it's a true representation of who you are. And if you brought all three, wonderful. If you're only able to grab one or two of those, that's also okay. I just want to touch on some of those elements so that, again, you can go back to these tools and use them even after this workshop, so that whether you're just going through your closet and figuring out what to wear, or you're going shopping or shopping online, you can connect back inward with these ideas, with your list of words about yourself, with how you're connecting with pieces energetically, to then and ultimately have a collection of pieces in your life that are a true representation of yourself, because that's the goal. That's what we want. We want to be able to go anywhere, do anything. Be like, yeah, this is me. So, all right. So if any of you we'll start with the fun stuff. We'll start with your favorite piece. And there'll be some sharing happening because, that's former middle school teacher over here. So I'm all about sharing, all about calling on people, all about things. So, yeah, if any of you lovelies would like to share your favorite piece that you brought with you, then I would love to see it and love for you to talk about it a little bit too. Volunteers.
Go ahead.
All right, Patty, go ahead.
Well, and by the way, when I was looking for, I thought we were to bring all the things. I was looking for my least favorite, and I thought, well, that would be the thing that you would have omitted from your closet, maybe. Not necessarily, but I thought, I don't know, I can't find anything I really, that I really don't like. But I found my favorites. And I haven't worn anything but hang around clothes. So, I look at the closet like everybody is neglected. No one is getting worn or out in the world. So, and especially fancy shoes. But I sort of decided to go for the shoe thing to show my favorite. And it also is an interesting something because, is it okay if I give all this pre-stuff before I show it?
Yeah, absolutely. Go whatever you want to share about it before you show or while you're showing it.
Feel
free.
Story.
There's no wrong way to do this.
Okay. Something came up in one of our Rise circles about Rachel or Tammy might remember, but it was sort of how we see ourselves maybe. I know, it was the masculine and the feminine, and sort of what that is on the external and how we see it for ourselves on the internal. And one of the things I was speaking about is that the masculine, feminine, I see that I dress feminine on the top and masculine on the bottom. And so when I decided to go for my favorite items on the shoes, I realized that what I picked was a perfect combination of that which I kind of discovered, that it's the masculine and the feminine. So the first thing I picked was a platform denim shoe. May I share? Can we see?
Oh my gosh, I love them. They are beautiful. Oh, love.
And I wore this last year to Miss Rachel and Miss Tink's wedding. And that was the first I bought them for them. And that was the first time I wore them. Haven't worn them since. So I love a platform. I like the height, and it's a little girly. And then I'll just stop right there. And here's my other favorite. My other favorite are my high top sneakers. And this particular one is a skater shoe, and it's got a web of rainbow scales on it. And that is also a favorite shoe. And both create a different feel, how I feel when each one is on. And I like them both. I mean, keeping it simple, I like how both make me feel. So it just, it's interesting to me that I picked both, that I picked a shoe, but I picked my favorites that are both feminine and masculine.
Yeah, I love that. I loved what you said early on too, when you're talking about the exercise, and you nailed it, by the way, because, and there's no wrong way to do this. If you have a piece in your closet that is your least favorite, that's totally fine. But I loved what you said, saying, how, well, I really shouldn't have a least favorite thing in my closet, because if I do, I should have gotten rid of it.
Right.
Yes, exactly. bye, see ya, not worth my time, stop adding negative energy to my space, I don't need you, like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, like, yeah. So I'm very glad that that's exactly what you had felt when you were going through your closet. That's good. Now, if we go through this exercise and other participants do have something that's their least favorite, then that's okay, and we'll talk through it. But going back to your beautiful shoes, oh my goodness, Patty, I love them both. And I love that you love them. That's way more important. My opinion does not matter when it comes to your favorite, but I felt like I needed to share because I do. So connecting to the masculine and the feminine elements to yourself, and how your favorite pieces also made that connection too, because you're talking about how when you are getting dressed on a regular basis, and leaving the house, that you're normally more feminine top, more masculine bottom, and so you're living your normal day-to-day life with both elements in your personal style. So like you said, the fact that you chose a more feminine shoe and then a more traditionally masculine style sneaker, so to speak, like with still feminine elements. Like I felt like both shoes had both masculine and feminine elements to them, which is also interesting.
Even the high top?
Yeah, and the high top, I think like
I'm sorry, even the platform? Sorry.
Oh, even the platform. Yeah, well, I think like denim and then the wood heel too. Like it's obviously those can definitely be read as feminine. Obviously women could wear all the denim and have all the wood accessories, but I think traditionally speaking, thinking about denim as a sturdier structure, more structured fabric, wood being the same kind of thing, it has some more masculine undertones, rather than, let's say, if you had like traditionally going more like stereotypical fashion sort of way, like something in a more feminine color or with like flashier elements throughout the heel. That's where I think it would be coming across as more overtly feminine. So that's why I'm saying like that some of the denim, some of the wood, all of that is kind of like subtly masculine in there too.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So just from the fashion perspective, that's where I was making those connections. So I think that you've already done a lot of the work, which is great, in understanding what it is about those pieces and about your own personal style that resonate with you, which is good. And now, how do you connect the other parts of yourself that you were sharing, when we first started this exercise? Like, how do you connect with the woodsy side of you, or living the crystal fantasy world? Like, where do those come into play? Obviously your lifestyle, obviously where you live, but how does that come across in your style, or does it come across in your style?
I'm not sure. I think I need to think about it. I think there was a word I thought of as practical. There's something practical about a sneaker, but then in the personality, the being part of being crystally, that there's always room for that kind of, let's see, it's a connection to the earth, but it's also sparkly. And so I think that there's that combination. I'm not sure if this is answering the question, but it's a combination of practical and also still, I don't know, yummy, crystally kind of thing.
Yeah, and you can choose how you show those parts of you when you're getting dressed. Like, you don't have to, if you don't want to always share that side of you, the crystally, sparkly kind of side, like, you don't have to. That can be something that's just for you. Or you can do it in a way that's really subtle and quiet, or something that you only show to the people who you are willing to allow into your space and into that world. So you know, because I say this all the time to, you know, clients, or to when I'm doing these kinds of workshops, that the beauty of getting dressed and incorporating your personality into your personal style is that you're going to have some days where you're like, hey, I'm Susan, like, this is me, like, you're getting the full picture of who I am because this is how I'm showing up. And other days where it's going to be like, hey, I'm Susan, I'm going to be like drinking my coffee over there, like, if you need me. And you know, you can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be like, I'm showing up 100% as myself every day, because we just have those days where sometimes you want to show up that way and sometimes you don't. But I want to make sure that on those days where you're ready to show up completely as yourself, that you already have the tools that you need, the pieces in your closet, the accessories, the shoes, whatever it is, that you can put on and be like, yes, I am Patty, 100%. Like, check me out. Like, look at me in my beautiful, complete, like, comfort zone of being surrounded by nature. Like, welcome to my critters and like wonderful animals that grace me with their presence, because they are messages from the universe. Like, look at me with my sparkly crystal self, my inner strength, you know, my desire to do the work, to be emotionally available, all of those wonderful, wonderful things about you. Like, connecting all those dots so that when you leave the house and, you know, you're meeting with people or whatever, you know, you're doing within your comfort zone, that you can show up that way.
Oh, you said that so well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And
I didn't expect that, and you just connected. You remember like everything that I said. That's beautiful. Great. Thank you so much. Inspiring.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
And supportive. Thank you.
So I have to say, can I, Patoon, say, I call her that, but only because we're in this small intimate group right now. It's my aunt, and we're very close. And just, I love that, Susan. I feel like when you say you're an intuitive personal stylist, like, I just felt that from you so much right now. Like, you pulled out all of these pieces of her, even to use the word critters, which I don't think you even used today in Patoon.
Right.
But that's like her word. Like, you just, and I'm like, chills.
Me too. Woo.
Oh,
And I love this. Like, I had this visual of you, Aunt Patty, as you were speaking, Susan, really, because I know how she dresses all the time and what she wears too. And, you know, she definitely shows up in like as her fairy, totally herself. But then you almost made me envision, Susan, that like, Patoon, before you could walk out the door, it's like you're grabbing a crystal necklace to throw on, and you're feeling your strong center or your sparkle along with your sneaks.
Right.
Or, you know, that maybe there is a moment, not maybe, Susan, you just like woke me up at least. There's a moment for you to stand in front of yourself and say, how can I be more of myself today? If that's what you're feeling, like that's the day you want to show up as more of yourself.
It definitely is a huge part of self-care, for sure, and connecting with yourself and connecting with, you know, just how you're leaving the house or how you're getting dressed, even if you're not leaving the house. Like, you know, I'm not saying that you have to get all dolled up and, you know, feeling fancy. Like, if we're leaving the house, like, no, I don't do that. Like, trust me, I will be completely like honest there. But if you want to, if it makes you feel good to add an accessory or just, you know, dress in different ways to take care of yourself, to connect with yourself, and just going back inward so that you can express it in either a loud outward way or in a more subtle way, then that's really, it's important and it's beautiful. Because when you have that outward demonstration, it's a visual representation of who you are, of where you're going, who you want to be. It's all of those pieces that just really help you to continue to grow. So, yeah. Thank you.
So nice. Thank you.
So, oh, you're welcome. It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for being so open and for sharing all of those wonderful things about you and about your fabulous shoes. Now I want to see like more of your shoes because I'm sure it's super cute, but not today, and that's all right. But thank you.
Yeah.
So Rachel or Tammy, do you want to share anything that you brought with you today? Do we have the time?
I'd love that. I'll go.
Yay.
When we had a Rise TV session with you, that impacted me around the colors and the choices I was making and what they said to myself and to the world. And I did a good closet edit after that and got a few new things. And I would say if there's a theme to like favorites, it's things that evoke really what I talked about before, healer and healing, but also I associate that with the beach. And so I took this because while I don't get a lot of chances to wear this, it's like a wrap, and hung it up because it just says so much. And it's actually a wrap. The company that makes it is like a Save the Turtles company. So it's really cool. And I got it as a gift. And then my bracelets are also a demonstration. Like even during quarantine, I've been putting on bracelets mostly for accessories, just for that feeling, kind of like the crystal aspect of it, Patty, but also just looking at them and the colors. But now for the things I did not get rid of, I have a lot. I still have a lot in my closet, and part of it is age and different life stages and different jobs where I had to dress different ways. And I have a lot of things that are like this, like why I can't get rid of them, I don't know. Like flowy pants. This is flowy pants. My sister and I both had like 4 pairs of these at one time. We were ordering them from some woman in California. But like, I don't like the pattern. I feel dumpy when I wear really flowy clothes. I feel like, I don't know, like this hippie, it's just not me. And I actually do feel like I have the more tailored way of looking and dressing that makes me feel good, and kind of is direct lineage from my grandmother, who very much appreciates that. And then also I'm going to and from yoga, and I am spiritual, and I am hippie. But the blend of the two does not always look so good in an outfit or always work. And then I guess the other thing I would just say is challenging, if we're gonna like problem solve a little, is around like the summer. I don't know, just showing up. I have like 2 bottoms that I alternate, like a pair of shorts and another thing that I wear because it's hot and I'm going to the farm later, and it's just the reality of how to dress. And so most days I feel like I don't really dress because it's hot.
Yeah,
hot weather. If there's a practical suggestion in there, even though I also would love to hear your feedback, it's like hot weather, wear it to feel it suggestions.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The heat is hard. It's real hard, especially when it's humid and you're going to be really active outdoors, like trying to find that happy medium between the practicality of what you're wearing and finding pieces that connect with you too, that you're also okay with getting dirty or just like being real sweaty in. Like it can be tricky to find that balance for sure. So I definitely understand the struggle that you're battling right now. Just from like some quick, easy suggestions that I would recommend is, I know that you've been doing a lot of color work and connecting with those colors. I know we talked so much about that in our Rise TV episode, and I love hearing that you're still kind of taking all of that in, that you went through your closet and, parted with so many pieces. That's major, Tammy, and I am thrilled to hear all of that. But I also understand that you still have a lot of pieces that you haven't parted with. And I want to just tell you that that's okay, because it can take a lot of time to go through them. And it's hard to just like rip off that Band-Aid. it's hard to be like, nope, not me anymore. Okay, bye. Because it's, figuring out what parts of your past and who you were are no longer serving you, and what parts of your past are still around to support your growth. And that's where it can get to be a little muddled, a little bit of that gray area that can be a little bit tricky, especially when you're going through your closet, because it is all connected. So as soon as I saw your tie-dye wrap that you were hanging, we hopped on the call, I was like, oh, it's Tammy's colors. Like, it's your colors all in one beautiful wrap. Like, it's so soft, beautiful, inviting, bright colors. I just love it.
Except now I'm sweating, but.
Yay. Oh, well, don't sweat. I don't want you to sweat on our behalf. You can hang it back up if you want so that it's still on display. But oh my gosh, it's stunning. And you said that it was a gift, which is also really beautiful, that, the person who gave it to you obviously just connected with this piece and connected with you and just wanted you to feel it completely. It's a wrap. It's something that you cover yourself in, that you can just feel it around your whole body. It's not just like a little scarf or like, a piece of jewelry. It's a wrap. And I feel too that with the growth and the phases that you're going through right now, a reason that you might have been called to that piece, especially to bring it on today too, is because you needed that reminder of being completely enveloped with that brightness and that beautiful, like, fun side of you. That, even because you are a healer, and I know that you said that you are healed by the other people, including yourself in your life, that this is another reminder that it's okay to just protect your own energy, to give yourself that hug, because you give so many beautiful hugs, which I know is probably challenging right now too with all the safety precautions, but that, you just might need that energetic hug from yourself. And that's just everything that I'm picking up on from the wrap. And it's a really just special message, I think. I mean, how is any of that resonating? Like, how is that feeling?
Yeah. It also made me think about how I do love even though I'm sweating now, but I do love a wrap, like, in the other 3 seasons. And it reminds me of a prayer shawl. Like, I also think it's a spiritual act to put one on. And I'm Jewish, and men in Judaism have always worn a tallis, which is like engraved with special words, and that you hold certain things a certain way. And it's been reclaimed by women as, we get to wear them too. And women wear beautiful prayer shawls also, but it's not the norm. You see it more like with, feminist Judaism. But I do think it evokes some of that. And even when I've seen Rachel do it, and people do it in yoga, and people do it when they pray in Judaism, that when they're really in prayer, it's this. So it reminds me of what you were just saying. Like, what are you doing when you wrap yourself? It's self-love, and it's also, it's some protection. It's sanctifying the moment. Like, this, what I'm doing right now is separate from maybe like all that world.
Yeah.
It's not really
I thought of the word container. I thought of the word container. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Like, creating that container for yourself, because you're holding space for people all the time, and to hold space for yourself and to create that safe space for yourself, and connecting and protecting your own energetic body and finding the moments to do that. I think, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. So let's talk about the pants. the printed pants. Those feel like
probably just dated, right? Like, bye-bye.
A little bit. I mean, I think that with the pants, they feel like a transitional piece, like a transition from when you're going from one stage of your life to another, like almost like what would a spiritual healer wear? Like, oh, they'd wear like funky printed pants, as opposed to like, no, I am spiritual. I am a healer. I don't need to necessarily dress a certain way that evokes that. I need to dress the way that I feel, that I connect with. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about the pants. And when I was hearing you speak about them, it was like more, there was just definitely a disconnect between who you are now and who you were when you got those pants. And there's been a lot of growth, a lot of change, and a lot that's solidified within you since then. And even if you're like, well, I got those pants like 3 months ago, which I know you didn't, but I'm just saying, like, even if you got them recently, I feel like there's been a tremendous amount of growth that's occurred since that time. I love the facial expressions that you're making right now, Tammy. Oh no.
I have to say, I'll say one thing, but there's a lawnmower right outside my window, so if it's too loud. So these pants I wore, I think at the first or second Rise weekend getaway. and this role of being a retreat leader, it made so much sense to me, but it was a little more like, oh, I'm supposed to be like one of those people that like dances, like, and so I think it was a little posery. It actually wasn't really how I dress or who I am. And so again, with the psychic intuition, what you just said is really true. And I think certainly speaks to me, but I think a lot of us, like when we have a role or a transition, we feel like we have to adopt those things as opposed to being like, that's not how I dress. So even if I'm, going to be like the face of that weekend in certain moments, it should still just be me.
Exactly. And I know what you just said 100% resonates with me when I was in the very early stages of my journey with becoming a personal stylist and stepping into my own. I definitely had my like stylist outfits, like what I thought I needed to look like in order to be taken seriously as a personal stylist. And then I swear, my inner voice, my intuition finally just had enough. I think she was just like sick of this shit and was like, no, you are like, this is not who you are. Like this, you need to listen to yourself, and then you need to just do it. Just show up who you are. Like just wear what you want to wear. I mean, I'll post on my Instagram, like what my first like stylist headshot looked like versus what I look like now and the kind of photo shoots that I'm doing now, where I'm really embracing myself. And I mean, both of them are beautiful images and I really appreciate who I was at that time, but you'll see it's a huge, huge disconnect. I know we've talked about this before because we talked a lot about Rachel's transformation that she's gone through over the years as well. And I feel like it's something that all of us can really relate to, whether it's a real inner the transformation and opportunities for growth, or if that inner turns into an outward expression of that too. It's just everybody kind of needs a different form to really walk that path. So thank you for sharing all of that. So Rachel, would you like to share real quick?
Sure, but you can't give me real quick. I mean,
No, not real quick. I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to say. Not real quick.
Not real quick. As much time as you would love, my dear.
No, it's okay. But especially on the heels of what you were just talking about is really relevant to a conversation I just had yesterday that really touched me. And especially because I have been in the last few years, like embracing this masculine part of myself. But then I went into this conversation yesterday and we started going down the path of, well, does cutting my hair, does wearing a more, masculine shirt, does that all, that's just, am I just trying to show on the outside so people see me fully? I'm like, look at me, now you know more of who I am because of what I'm showing you. But then it had us talking about like, and then that makes me feel more empowered. Like I'm more empowered because I'm standing in this part of me that I'm embracing now, which led to like, do I feel the whole kind of patriarchy and feminism and all of that in our country and just being a woman. And then I was like a little mind blown when we realized or talked about, like, if I'm showing myself more masculine on the outside, am I kind of, am I quieting my feminine? Am I feeling more powerful because I'm showing up as masculine? You know, it was just this, it really has me thinking a whole lot. And I've kind of been in this stage more recently of like, well, how do I'm like trying to find this fusion, you know, and also recognizing that, and I read a lot about, I went down the hole of realizing there is species of animals, many of them that live on our planet, that change from masculine to feminine throughout their lifetime in order to meet the need in their relationship or in their environment. And they do this on their own. It happens to them, you know, or they choose, like, I'm going to do that so then I can create a baby. That's what they do, from a man to a female. It's wild, blows my mind. So I feel that there has to be a part of us that also does this transitioning back and forth. So I am like kind of in this place now that I really embrace this part of myself to be masculine. Well, I know that I will flow back, and I'm almost curious, like, how would it feel to embrace again my feminine? What would that bring up in me now, you know, or I know I will. So like not drawing hard lines for myself, but instead being in this place of like, this is what feels good now for me. And yes, showing up like fully in that. But even when I look at my closet now, it's funny. I go like, oh goodness, like I don't want to get too masculine and start throwing out all of my feminine stuff that I like once loved, you know, but I'll show you, but I'm not sure what to wear. But my main pieces that I feel most comfortable in when we were like, had to show up, I actually realized I had one of them on already. So I'm like, I'm not going to change and shower. I'm going to show up in my full piece, you know, that I showed up to teach my class this morning for my workout, and my hat. This feels so me, you know? But then this is my other favorite. I'm also recently, not recently, obsessed with Queer Eye. So if you haven't watched it, it is full blown, just it makes you feel good when you watch it. They are brilliant beings, and I just love what they do. You watch it, yes.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
I believe that we are, and you are, Susan, people like them, right?
Yeah.
So I think about for myself, and I love watching them just be so free and you know, but that's like, this feels like that to me. Like I can be that fierce, it's sparkly. It also kind of is the pants. So it has like this fusion of all my things. And then when I put it on, it just makes you want to like, you know, do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what also actually makes me feel best is to throw on my old camp shirt with a collar. Like I'm home. I literally feel, I swear, like even to say sexiest. How bizarre is that, to show you that and then to get this and be like, this is what that feels like to me with my short, you know, my comfy shorts. Okay, and then I'm moving more quickly. This is my last item, and this is the item. It was hard also for me to find things I don't like. It was more of like well, I don't feel as comfortable in this now when I put this on. So something like this, which I loved once, not that long ago. And I probably like wore it with denim shorts or whatever, and it comes off the shoulder. But right now when I put this on, I like don't feel like me.
I mean, you know, I'm obsessed with that sequin sparkly jumpsuit. Like I'm obsessed with it. It's amazing. I mean, I love the one piece that you have on right now too. It's so fun and fierce and just fantastic. I think going back to the conversation that you were having the other day that you shared with us today about how you're bringing in the masculine style for yourself, and how you're interpreting all of that. And I think that connecting back into loving yourself gently and giving yourself that ability to express yourself in ways that feel good and feel empowered. And maybe it's not that you're connecting with the masculine and it's pushing down on the feminine. Maybe it's that how you're feeling in this moment or in this part of your life is, like you said, you're stepping into the more masculine side of you, and that's what feels true to you in this moment. And it's not that you're eliminating or squashing the feminine, because hello, sequin jumpsuit, like that was one of your favorite pieces, and you still have these other feminine details that you're highlighting within your style. But it's just that the masculine side is really getting that opportunity to shine right now. And that's okay, because like you said, you're going to flow into another phase where the feminine's going to have its time. Or maybe it'll be a combination of the two. Maybe it won't be like a harsh, like turning on or off a light switch where you're like, okay, today I'm going to be like all feminine. This is what I'm going to be now for like the next month, years, whatever it's going to be. It might be an ease into that transition again, where you're slowly bringing in more feminine pieces, or more feminine styles are going to resonate with you, just like the masculine pieces are resonating with you right now. So I think just giving yourself that time to really sit with how you feel when you're wearing those pieces. And if you're feeling like part of you is being silenced or suffocated or quieted, then figure out how to kind of turn that voice up a little bit louder, so that, they're feeling, or she's feeling, acknowledged and supported too. Or, it might not be something that wants to happen every day. Maybe on a day where you grab something and you put it on and it's a more masculine style piece, and you're feeling like, ooh, why do I maybe that feminine part of me isn't feeling so good right now. Like, why? Like, what do I need to add? Like, what do I need to just bring in? Just like the advice that you're giving to Patty about, you call it Patoon? Is that the right nickname? That's adorable. I won't refer to you as that, but I just think it's adorable. When you're talking to Patty about like just grabbing that crystal necklace, to put on, to like embrace, it can be the same thing for you. Or it maybe be like, it could already be something that you're wearing every day, and just giving it that moment, be like, yeah, this is what I need today. This is where that voice could be supported and heard, while the rest of me is also being honored. Because we're complex beings. And the fact that we evolve and go through all of these changes and growth and everything, it's just, we need to really allow ourselves to honor that. And I think you're getting there. Oh, yes, Patty, my love.
Well, I was thinking about the sort of the influence of a wardrobe to what you feel inside. So I'm speaking of something similar with the masculine and the feminine. And so I guess it's all in there. So how much of that's already in there of both the masculine and feminine is the influencer for what you wear on the outside? It's an open question. And if I wear my jeans and my high top sneakers, I definitely feel more boyish. It's more like, I don't know, I can handle stuff, feel like a rock star or something, and the other stuff, feminine, it's a feeling too. And I'm just wondering, like, maybe even how then we make those choices for, if we feel all of those things, or we feel both of the masculine and feminine, where we choose to basically manifest it on the outside so others see that. And then of course they're going to have an impression of you based upon, in a layer of it, of their perception of you based upon this kind of either masculine look or feminine look.
I think that that's where the energetic connection really comes into play, because we all have those days where, you're like, oh, I'm going to wear this outfit. This is what I'm going to wear today. I can't wait to wear this. You put it on, you're just like, no, hard pass. Like you take it off, it gets thrown on the bed, whatever. And you might take you a few outfits to kind of get to where you feel like, yes, okay, this is what feels good. This is what feels like strong, sexy, confident, whatever word you needed to connect with that day. But to kind of make that process go a little bit smoother and faster, looking at it from a masculine and feminine way, it's still connecting with everything that we've been talking about so far, which is why I love this question, Patty. It's awesome. And that's where I want you to just take that quiet moment. It doesn't have to be as much of a lengthy exercise like we did in the beginning, where you're breathing and asking yourself questions, but it does happen when you connect inward, where you just take a second even to take 1 or 2 deep breaths and get back into your body, getting out of that headspace of thinking about how am I supposed to show up, and instead go into how do I want to show up. And when we make that switch, that's when you can say, okay, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more masculine. I'm feeling a little bit more feminine. I'm feeling a little bit of both today. And you can really pull from those elements based on that energetic and emotional connection that you're feeling. Does that answer your question, or should I go further into it? I mean, what are you tell me.
Well, in the interest of time, of course, I'd hear more, but that making the emotional connection and finding a different kind of base for it, because that's important, to just tune into the emotional quality and maybe go on an intuitive kind of level, because the other is, you are clothing yourself to go out in public, out into the world. But, where does that begin? And I think to go from that sort of clean, emotional, like just give a gauge of yourself and then take it from there. And that's, walking out in an authentic self, I would say.
Exactly. And you're so right that doing the intuitive work is the foundation, that inner work, that going deep within yourself to find out, or just to ask yourself who you are, how am I feeling, all of those kinds of questions. And then it opens everything up and you'll feel it, when you go to grab something, or you might get the image of what you want to wear, or, you'll just be drawn to it, and it'll just really speed up that process of getting dressed so much more, because you'll know there will be that connection that occurs, which is just wonderful. I mean, who doesn't want to get dressed easier and faster? Just have to do a little bit of energetic work. It's fine.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We could sit here all day.
Yes, we could.
I was also going to this. We could, because I feel the same as you do, Ann Patoon, in this. It's really getting me thinking a lot, considering, my style. And even though I think that I've gotten this idea of like, that our style expresses who we are, yes, but even this deeper layer of your clothes not wearing you, but like you wearing your clothes, like stepping into yourself first before you step into your pants or dress or whatever, or your shoes. Did you hear me, or did I break up? But, and I think that this has really awakened. Okay, good. I really think that this has awakened that. I was feeling the same thing when you said that, Aunt Patty. So a whole nother level and layer. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want, well, first,
Tammy, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna thank you on behalf of everyone who's on now and maybe listening later. But I also want to give you a chance, Susan. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I guess when in doubt, just wear it. If energetically it's feeling good, it's feeling right, then go for it. I mean, obviously, if you are unfortunate. Well, if you're not in my situation where I'm my own boss, like I'm not going to get in trouble for my dress code with myself. But if you do have issues within a dress code, obviously you have other rules that you need to follow. And I don't want to be giving anyone permission to break the rules and get themselves fired from
Or you need makeup.
Or yeah. But what I do want to say is just within obviously those limitations, if you have them, wear it. And when you're wearing something and you have that confidence and it's energetically aligned with you, that's what people are going to pick up on. And because you're just going to be radiating this beautiful, positive energy. And it's a really amazing thing.
Thank you. Really, this was so, it's reminding me of how energized I was by my first session with you, and I feel it all over again. And it is really interesting right now in this time when we do have more time at home. I think it's challenging us to play with, you know, how much do we care about it and what does it do for us, even if you're not getting dressed for anyone else other than who you maybe share your space with, if that's anyone. I do have a question for you because I want more personally. So are you doing online shopping, virtual styling? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've gone on, Rachel knows I've gone on to buy myself a few new things. I mean, I wore this when my daughter was in middle school, like she's in college now. So that's happening to me. I'm like one of those people, I see stuff in pictures like, oh, I still wear that. Like, and it's time, but I really get a little lost online. So are you doing that?
I am, yes. I've been working with clients virtually, even pre-pandemic. So this is, I made some changes to my program so that I can really, truly serve my clients in the best ways. But yes, I am doing virtual styling. So I work with clients all over the country, and I make it easy and fun where we can go shopping together virtually. We can have like fun little try-on sessions because I know that some of my clients are still feeling cautious and not wanting to have anyone come into their home. So I really want to honor that. And we just make it this fun virtual experience and get to pick out fun clothes and have meetings like once or twice a month. It's pretty fantastic. So yeah, absolutely. If anyone is interested in that, then they can 100% contact me and we can talk about all the rest of the juicy details.
Cool. All right. I'd love to do that. I like a shopping partner online. Thanks, Susan. Thank you, everyone, for co-creating this.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Susan.
Got to lead this session.